Bhagavad Gita, there are various nice commentaries. In that, one good commentary is Gita Sangraha by Yamunacharya. We all know Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya is a guru of Ramanujacharya. So Yamunacharya has written a grantha called Gita Sangraha. So it is like a Sangraha literature. Sangraha means in essence, in gist. So he gives one shloka for each chapter. So he gives a summary for one shloka for each chapter. So in that Sangraha, he gives a very beautiful shloka for the entire Bhagavad Gita. He summarizes entire Bhagavad Gita in one shloka. He says, Swadharma Jnana Vairagya Sadhya Bhakti Eva Gocharaha Narayana Parabrahma Gita Shastre Samiritaha. So this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. What is it? Swadharma Jnana Vairagya Sadhya Bhakti Eva Gocharaha. By means of doing our Swadharma, then Jnana develops. From Jnana, Vairagya develops. From Vairagya, he can be attained. Sadhya means he can be attained. And there is another way also. Bhakti Eva Gocharaha. By means of devotional service alone, he can be attained. Narayana Parabrahma Gita Shastre Samiritaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Narayana or Sri Krishna, is well established in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So attaining Supreme Lord Narayana is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And how he can be attained? He can be attained by two means. What is it? Swadharma Jnana Vairagya. This is one path. And Bhakti Eva Gocharaha. So even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about two paths to reach him. One is step-by-step process. The second one is direct process of devotional service. So the point here is, ultimately by devotional service, Lord can be attained. Krishna only speaks about this much in Bhagavad Gita. He doesn't elaborate. He says, by devotional service, you can attain me. Then the natural next question should be, how to do the devotion? But Krishna doesn't know how to explain to do devotion to him. Like in Vishwarupa, in 11th chapter, Arjuna is asking, who are you? Then Krishna could have tell that I am Shyamasundara, I have this much beautiful form. He could explain like that. But he created fear in Arjuna's heart. He said, I am Kala Rupa. You see Arjuna, I am eating everyone, I am crushing everyone in my mouth. This is how Krishna can explain. He cannot explain himself properly. So devotees are necessary to explain him. So he comes as Vyasa and then he starts explaining how to do this devotion. So this is how we get Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is full of devotional service. How to do this devotional service. So wherever this Bhagavad Gita leads us, so where Bhagavad Gita ends, Bhagavatam starts from that. That how to do this devotional service, what is devotional service, and how by means of various kinds of devotional service we can please the Lord. And Bhagavatam is full of dealings of devotees from various rasas, from various angle, from various point of view. So by some fortune, by means of Srila Prabhupada's mercy and Guru Maharaj's mercy, that we had a chance to read this Bhagavatam. And it's not like whenever we get time, we try to read Bhagavatam and then we try to understand something. If you give Bhagavatam, if you try to read Bhagavatam in that way, then Bhagavatam will also reciprocate in that way. Because etama prapatyante tan tataya bhajamyaham. Bhagavatam is nothing but Krishna. So the more you give time for Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam reveals to you. So in the similar way, we started studying this Bhagavatam, and by means of Krishna's mercy, we came across very nice realizations from various pastimes of Lord. So in that, I would like to speak about Bali Maharaj's Lila. This was the last thing that we have completed in 8th canto, because in 8th canto, at the end of 8th canto, we have Bali Maharaj Lila. So it is very sweet pastime with the Lord and his devotees. So I was thinking, this one is good to discuss today. So Bhagavatam speaks about how we can develop devotion. How can we develop devotion on someone? Or how can we develop love on someone? by means of knowing two things about that person. By means of knowing his yatatmya and by means of his knowing mahatmya. So yatatmya means by means of knowing his greatness, and mahatmya means his qualities. So these two things are necessary. If you want to love someone, or if you want to develop some kind of affection on someone, then you should know how great that person is. And it is not enough that to know how great he is, because there are so many great people in this world. We don't develop affection on everyone, correct? So on whom we develop affection? When he does something to me, when he is connected with me, then we develop some kind of affection on him. So Krishna speaks about these two things in Bhagavad Gita itself, and in Bhagavatam is full of this description about Krishna's yatatmya and Krishna's mahatmya. Krishna's yatatmya means Krishna's supremacy, and Krishna's mahatmya means Krishna's saulabhya. So we need to know paratva and saulabhya of the Lord. Paratva means his supreme qualities, great qualities, and saulabhya means how simple he is. Even though he is so great, but he is very simple, he is very available. People in general, those who are so great, they are not very easily available. Those who are very easily available, definitely they are not going to be great, because they are easily available, right? But Krishna, he can manage these two things in one place. That is called aghatita ghatana samarthya. Ramanujacharya says, aghatita ghatana samarthya means the two things which cannot be combined, Krishna can combine. Like anoraniya mahato mahiyam. He is the biggest of the biggest and smallest of the smallest. Either you can be small or you can be big, but Krishna can be both. So that's how we can understand that Krishna, even though he is supreme in all the aspect, but his main quality is saulabhya, that he is very easily available. So this Bali Maharaj Lila is exactly speaking about this, that Vamana and Trivikrama. He is smaller and he is the greatest of the greatest. So this Leela is very nice to understand, that when we hear about the Lord more and more, about his qualities, then our mind has natural inclination towards him. Unless we hear about the glories, unless we hear about how he is very simple and how he is loving me, how he is affectionate towards me, we don't develop any kind of love. Cannot be done artificially. Love has to be natural. We cannot do love. We cannot make love. It has to come naturally. So how this will come? It's not by any other practice. Because by abhyasa, we cannot gain. Like we have Bharata Maharaj. King Bharata, he left everything. He went to forest to do meditation. And he was in the state of bhava. When he takes tulasi for offering to Shalagrama, he used to close his eyes and he used to meditate on the Lord. And his meditation is so deep that tulasi gets dried up. That means he goes inside deep meditation for 2-3 days. And then when he opens, the tulasi is already dried up. So his abhyasa is in that level that he cannot forget about the Lord. But what happened? Even that abhyasa has cheated him. But what remained in his mind? Asakti. Correct? In whatever he has developed love and affection, that remained. So abhyasa goes after some time, but asakti stays. That's why Krishna says, Maya sakta manaf partha yogam yunjan majashraya. When he starts speaking about bhakti, he uses this word directly, Maya sakta manaf partha, with mind attached to me. So this attachment comes not by any other external practices. It helps, external practices helps. But these external practices should lead us towards Lord's affection. So how it will come? By means of knowing more and more about Lord's quality. That's why Shastra speaks about qualities of the Lord more and more. In Ramayana also, when Valmiki starts writing about Rama, he speaks about the qualities of the Lord. So we understand Lord by means of his qualities. So anyway, so in this Vamana Lila, we have this Vamana Lila starts with churning of Amrita Mandana. And after that Amrita Mandana, demigods, they were so proud after drinking this nectar. They neglected their guru, they neglected the Supreme Lord's worship. Then what happened? the Bali Maharaj, he took shelter of Brihaspati line, Sukracharya. So he worshipped Sukracharya very nicely. And by means of Shukracharya, he was worshipping Lord Vishwajit. He did Vishwajit Yagya. So by means of this Yagya, he pleased the Lord and he gained so many power. And then he got a very special conch. So with this conch, he went to heavenly planet and he started blowing there. And just by hearing his conch sound, all the demigods, they ran away. He was so powerful, he could not be defeated. Then Indra, he goes to Brihaspati and he asks, what happened? He looks so powerful. Then Brihaspati says, yes, you people, you are so intoxicated by means of your wealth and you forgot the Lord. So now they become powerful. Now please wait till some time because they cannot be defeated. Because they have the favor of Brahmanas and also from the Lord. So if Lord is in favor of someone, even if he can be Asura, nobody can defeat him. So like in Dhruva Maharaj Lila also, the Indra goes and complains to the Lord that we are not able to disturb this Dhruva Maharaj. Can you do something? The Lord says, why don't you disturb? You know all these tricks. You send Menaka, you do something. The Lord says, then they say, no, we cannot do anything about him. It's so difficult. Then Lord says, yes, because I am doing tapasya inside him. Because Dhruva Maharaj is very small. He is very small. He has no capability to reach him. But he has this desire to reach me. So what Lord does? He goes, he enters inside Dhruva Maharaja, he practices tapasya, and then as a phala of tapasya, he appears, just like a mother. Mother comes, takes a hand of a small child, writes in the slate. And then she sees, oh, you wrote very nicely. Then she gives full mark and she says, very nice, you wrote very nicely. So who does everything? Lord is doing everything. Simply we take credit. So in the similar way, here Indra said, but we cannot do anything. So Brihaspati says, you have to wait. Then in the meantime, we have Aditi doing tapasya. So, and then Kashyapa comes from his tapasya. Aditi was worried that his sons, that demigods, are bereft of heavenly kingdom. So then Kashyapa comes understanding the mood of Aditi. He asks, what happened? You are looking so dull. Is everything okay? Are you taking care of guests properly? Are you taking care of fire properly? Are you taking care of your servants, beggars properly? Then she says, I am always remembering you. I cannot go away from dharma. These are all going properly. But I have one small request. She didn't tell directly. She is very intelligent. She says, Lord is equal to everyone. But still he favors his devotees. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha e bhajanti tu maam bhaktya maite tesu chapyam. This much he said. Lord is equal to everyone, but he favors his devotees. That means she is saying, even though you are equal for both demons and demigods, because Kashyapa is the father of both demons and demigod. So even though you are father of both, but still you can do some favor for our children, that is demigods. Then Kashyapa, he sees, oh, you are so foolish. Who is your husband? Who is your son? Actually, Lord is everyone. Lord is your actual well-wisher. So what you can do, you just best worship the Lord. Because Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that if somebody is confused, you don't try to confuse him more. Because he is attached with that same thing. Na buddhi bedam janayet agyanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Krishna says, people are like that. People are ignorant because they are always in this material world and they have this family attachment. So what else they can do? So what you should do? Na buddhi vedam janayet. Don't confuse their intelligence by means of taking, okay, these are all useless, give up everything, come and surrender. Don't do this. Na buddhi vedam janayet agyanam karma sanginam. They are karma sanginam. What you should do? Joshayet sarva karmani. You make them to do their karma, joshayat sarva karmani, vidvan yukta samacharan. But you teach them how to do that work, samacharan. Before that they were working, but now also they will work, but now they will work with intelligence. Karmajam buddhi yuktahi. Krishna says all the time. That is called working, art of working. That you should work with intelligence. Anyway, so here Kashyapa says, he doesn't want to stop Aditi by means of preaching Atma Jnana now, but he found a way. Anyway, now you want something. Now what you should do? You should worship Lord. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udharati tivrena bhakti yogena ejayata purusham param. So he says, only Lord can help you. Savidyasite kaman harirdhinanukampana amoha bhaktir bhagavad bhaktir naitareti matir mama. He says, only Lord's devotion can help you. And Lord's devotion can never go in vain. So start worshipping Lord. Then he teaches the Payovrata way, that how we should worship, how we should please the Lord. By means of that, you can gain whatever you need. Then she did this Payovrata process for 12 days. And then she saw the Lord. Lord appeared by means of this vrata. So in Bhagavata, this is very special, that if you take Bhagavatam, that there are so many appearances of the Lord. Vyasadeva, he explains, the Lord appeared suddenly here, Lord appeared suddenly in this place, Lord appeared here, like that. So many appearances. So what we can do as a devotee is, we can just take up this portion, how Lord appears. If you start reading these portions, you can see how Lord appears in different place, to different devotees in different style. And also Vyasadeva, without tiredness, he explains Lord appearance in various ways. Like when Lord appears for Kashyapa, he appears on wheeling. People, they do wheeling, no, here, boys, they do wheeling. They stand on the bike and they come. This is called wheeling. So in a similar way, if you see Kashyap's Lila, that when he was meditating on the Lord, then Lord appeared. How he appeared? He was standing on Garuda. He was not sitting. Why? Because Kashyapa could not have full darshan of the Lord. Lord understood. So he stood up on the Garuda and he was coming on Garuda. So this wheeling was already done by our Lord itself. Now people are just imitating. So whatever you see, everything is in the Lord. Whatever qualities you see, it is already in the Lord. So here it is said, Tasya pradhurabhuttata bhagavan cheta purushaha pitavasas chaturbhahu shankra chakra gadadaraha tamneta gocharam viksha sahodaye sadrusham nanama bhuvikashyena dhandavat priti vikhala. Then when Lord appeared, then she did Dandavat Pranam. Usually women, they don't do Dandavat Pranam, but seeing that Lord, she doesn't know what to do. Till now the Lord was Shastra Gochara. That Lord can be only seen by Shastra. But now he has become Netra Gochara. That he can be seen by these eyes also. So when she got this darshana, immediately she fell down and she started praying. Then Lord, he knows, he understands why she is praying. Then Lord says that, I understand your desire, I will fulfill your desire. But it's difficult. Whatever your desire, it looks very difficult. Why? Because this Bali Maharaja, he has gained the mercy of my devotees. So one who has mercy of my devotees, it is very difficult for me, even for me to defeat them. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Then Kaunteya says, Krishna bhakta will never perish. Then Krishna says, hey, what did I say? Name bhakta pranashyati, declare yourself. Then Arjuna becomes very happy. Then he says, Name bhakta pranashyati, my devotee will never perish. That means, you don't have to be a devotee of the Lord himself directly. Even if you become a devotee of the devotee, then he will never perish. Even Lord can give up his promise sometime. But when devotee promises, Lord can never break that promise. So here, Lord also says that since Bali Maharaja has a favor of devotees, I cannot do anything. But Lord says, anyway, still you have prayed, so I will make some plan and I will take birth as your son and I will fulfill the desire. And then Lord says, don't reveal this to anyone. And she was so happy. She went for some boon, but what she got? She got Lord himself. This is the greatness of the worshipping Lord. When we worship Lord, we get everything and we get bonus also, more than what we have actually asked for. So that's why Krishna, he is actually lamenting in Bhagavad Gita. He says, even though I am ready to give everything for my devotees, why these people are going to demigods? My worship is very simple. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. The same ingredients which are using for demigod worship. Even for demigod, you have to do some elaborate worship. For my worship, just simple worship is enough. But still, these people are not coming to me. They try to worship demigod. So here, when Aditi got this boon, she comes and she pays obeisance to Kashyapa. Then Kashyapa says, "Oh, you had Lord's darshan? And Lord told you not to reveal to anyone?" Because he knows. He saw everything in his meditation. Then Lord enters Kashyapa. And then from Kashyapa Muni, the Lord enters into Aditi. And during the Bhadra Masa, Bhadra Dwadasi, Lord appears in this world. So, when Lord appeared, the description about the Lord is given. And then, when Lord appeared, he goes to Bali Maharaj Yajnashala. So now from here, the actual teaching starts. That even to get charity, it's not a simple thing. Nowadays we see beggars as useless people. But previously, the beggars are seen as topmost people. Why? Because usually Brahmanas and Sannyasis, they can only take this bhiksha, alms. They can only take this alms, begging, because it shows that dependency on the Lord. But nowadays it become like a third class, fourth class, or it becomes like a useless thing to do begging, because everybody started doing, so it becomes a useless thing. But here Vamana Deva is showing this dharma, that how begging is glorious, and only few people can do this begging, not everyone. If you want to get donation, you should come in this proper line, not just some vesha, not just because of some makeup, because anybody can do that. You can just have a makeup of like Ravana did. He took up the Bairagi vesha and he started begging. No, he came in the line of Kashyapa Muni, and he underwent all the samskaras, and then he went for begging. So when he went for begging, then this Bali Maharaja, even though he has conquered the heavenly planets, but he was not of the mood of enjoying everything. He was staying in Brahmakacha, the place, it is northern side of Narmada river. He was staying there and he was doing Yajna Karma. And then now Vamana starts coming there. Vamana is so small. When small boy comes with small umbrella and he has small deer skin, and he has small shika, he walks so beautifully, small steps. He looks so beautiful. And then everyone in the Yajnashala, they saw this small boy. There are so many sages who are very old sages in the age, very senior, but they all stood up. Unknowingly, they all stood up and they started giving respect. And they were asking, who is this boy? Whether he is Agni himself came, or he must be sun god. Then some rishis are saying, no, he must be Sanat Kumara. Then some rishis are saying, no, I have seen Sanat Kumara, he is not Sanat Kumara. Nobody can determine who he is. Then Bali Maharaj determined, he should be Lord. Because only this is the qualification. When nobody can determine, he should be Lord. Because that's what Shastra says. Shastra cannot define Lord. So, yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, Upanishad says, when Shastra started to describe about the Lord, the words started to describe about the Lord. Then words started to describe it, went too far, then it came back. No, it's impossible for me to describe. Yato vacha nivartante, then vacha came back, words came back. It said, no, I cannot describe about the Lord. Then manasa saha, then we have mind. The things which you cannot write, which you cannot describe, mind can imagine. Mind can imagine so many things. Then mind also declared, even I cannot imagine about the Lord, because Lord is so great. So, because Lord is aprameya, He is beyond pramana. You cannot understand, ittam, Lord is this much. You cannot define Lord this much. So, when rishis they understood, we cannot understand Lord, then Bali Maharaja said, this should be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Vamana Deva enters inside the this Yajnashala. Then Bali Maharaj, he welcomes him like a normal thing that he does pada puja, and then he glorifies the Lord, and then he says, now I have become dhanya, now I have become very fortunate, now my yajna has become fulfilled. So one may have a question, why Bali Maharaj to do yajna? Or why yajna was done on the olden days? Because some people they do yajna to get some kamya karma, to get some results. But even we see in Ramayana, Janaka Maharaj was doing yajna. This is how Rama Lakshmana enters to Mithila. Why Janaka Maharaj to do yajna? Because he is already jnani. He doesn't have to gain anything from yajna. But still he was doing yajna. Why? Because when he was doing yajna, many rishis they come and they start, then they will having satsanga. So just to make this satsanga, these yajnas are performed, not to gain any results. So in the similar way, here Bali Maharaj says, because I was desiring for this satsanga and now you have come. It is not my tapasya that you have come here, because of all the tapasyas of the rishis that you have come here. Now I can see that you have some desire to ask. You have come here, with a desire to ask something. So please ask me. Whatever you need, I will try to give you. So when Bali Maharaj was asking very humbly to Vamana Deva, then Vamana Deva says, Tasmat Vattamahim Yishat Vrineham Varadarshabat Padani Trini Taityendra Sammitani Padam Mama. He says, yes, I know about you. I know about your family lineage. Because you are coming from such a family lineage. When we go to get donation, we don't directly go and ask, give me this money. We go and glorify him. You are coming from such and such big place and you have such a very charitable heart and you have done already so many things. So for me only this much is needed. Similarly, Vamana glorifies and then says, okay, I need just 3 steps in my, he says, Sammitani Padam Mama. In my feet, I need only 3 steps. But Bali Maharaj was thinking, he was already mesmerized by means of this Vamana's beauty. He was thinking to give whole earth, Bhuloka, but he was asking for only 3 steps. Then Bali Maharaj was a little bit offended. He was thinking, you are speaking like some old person, some learned person, but you are asking like a small boy. You are coming to a king and you are asking for 3 steps. What is this? You should ask me such a charity. After getting charity from me, you should never go to any person to get charity. Because if you go to other person for charity, it is actually disrespecting me. It's an insult for me. So you should ask me such a kind of high boon, such a kind of big charity. He was ignorant. He was ignorant because of his pride. Lord is showing, Mama, Pada Mama. He shows, see my feet. In my feet I need 3 steps. The feet which is glorified by all the Shrutis, the feet which is not given up by Lakshmi Devi, the feet which is the ashraya for all the devotees, the feet which all the Paramahamsas are searching, the same feet which even Lord is tasting himself, that feet, even though he is showing that feet and saying, see my feet, but still after seeing the feet he was ignorant by means of his pride of wealth. He could not see. Then he said, no, I need more. You can ask me more. Then Vamana says, you are thinking you are rich, but I am richer than you. How? Because one who is self-satisfied, he is always rich. If you are not self-satisfied, if you are greedy, then whatever you give, they say it is not enough. In Upanishad there is one very good statement that about the greediness of a person. In this whole world, there is only one person, and this whole world is filled with gold till his knees. And you say, you take this whole world with this gold, everything is for you. Still what this person will say? Why it is not till thighs? Why it is till knees? He will ask more. So if you are greedy, you can never become happy. So he says, it is enough. Then he says that Mam vichobhis samaradhya lokanam ekam ishwaram padatrayam vriniteyo abhuddhiman dvipadashusham. He says, lokanam ekam ishwaram. Bali Maharaj was so proud. He says, lokanam ekam ishwaram. I am one Ishvara, one controller for the whole world. Ask me anything. Then Vamana says, vittam yavat prayojanam. He says, money is enough. as much as my needs are there. I don't want anything more. But then Vamana says, if you have fortunate, you give me. I need only this much. I want only this much. If you have the fortune, if you have the bhagya to give me charity, you give me, otherwise you leave it. Then Bali Maharaj was stuck wonder. He never found such a kind of Brahmana who says it's enough for me. Then he said, I should give him this kind of Brahmana. I should give him for sure. Because it is my fortune to give such a kind of self-satisfied Brahmana. Then he wanted to give. Then immediately Sukracharya comes, he says, don't do this. Because this person is not a brahmachari, this person is not a Brahmana, and this person is not a beggar. He is a cheater, don't give him. And it's in Vishnu Sahasranama, there is a very interesting statement that when Lord appears as a Vamana Deva, he is a brahmachari, but he is never brahmachari. Because always Lakshmi stays. Vamana says, okay, please stay away at least until in this avatara, you please stay away. Because I'm going like a brahmachari. Then Lakshmi says, no, I cannot leave you. I will come always with you. Then Lakshmi is always in the chest of Lord as a Srivatsa. Agala illen endru aramel manga urayum marbha. In Tamil they say, the Lakshmi never leaves. Then Lord has to cover Lakshmi by means of his deer skin, so that people, they don't notice when Lord goes outside. But Kashyapa, Sukracharya, he could see that he is Lord. Then he said, don't do this. Because sometimes during some apat situation, during some dangerous situation, you can tell lie. So take this as a dangerous situation and you can break this promise. Then Bali Maharaj says, what can be more dangerous than to be untruthful? So untruthful is the most dangerous thing. And you're telling me to tell lie. I cannot do that. Why? Because I am from Prahalad Maharaj family. So Prahalada, even though he was in a very great dangerous situation, that is, father is telling, I am going to cut your throat if you don't find Lord here. And he says, no, Lord is there. He did not tell lie. Even in the most dangerous situation, he didn't tell lie. Then Lord appeared. Satyam vidatum nijabritya bhashitam. Just to make the devotee's word truth, Lord appeared. So that's why Bali Maharaj has three main qualities. He is Satyasandha, he is Brahmanya, he is Vadanya. So because of these three qualities, Lord has to come in the form of beggar and beg from him. He cannot defeat Lord. He cannot kill, he cannot defeat Bali Maharaj directly. So this qualities attracts Lord. So in this way, here he says, Bali Maharaj says, what is the use of having my wealth even after, when I die, all this wealth I have to give up anyway. So when I am alive, I can voluntarily give this wealth to the Lord. Dadichi, we have example of Dadichi, we have example of Shibi Maharaj. So they have given their whole life for keeping their promise. So why not me give this wealth to the Lord? So he says that if this is the Lord who is Lakshmipati, he comes to beg from me. So what can be more fortunate to give him this charity? So definitely I am going to give him. So I am not going to budge from my promise. Then Sukracharya get a little bit angry and he cursed that you will bereft of all your wealth, and anyway it's going to happen. Then he was so happy that Bali Maharaj along with his Dharmapatni Vindhyavali, they started giving this land, and it has to be done by means of pouring water. So immediately when Lord accepted this offering, the Lord started growing. He came like a Vamana, but as soon as he was touched by offering of the devotees, he started growing. That's how Vedanta Deshika, he says, Bhakta priye tvayi tata parivardhamanaha. That he did not give butter like Yashoda, he gave only mud, he gave only land. But still, when he got the land, when he ate the land, he started growing. Because somebody may accuse Lord, what is this cheating? You came as a Vamana, now you have big form, so this is cheating. You are measuring in a different form. No, Acharyas, they say, no, it's the same form. What to do? He has little, what do you say? He has growth. He has very fast growth. Some people we see some devotees. After 10 years also they look lean, same. But you can see some devotees after 2-3 months. Oh, Prabhuji, you have grown so much in 3 months. So much growth is there. Similarly, Lord, when he accepted, when he was touched by the devotee's love, he started growing. Then it is said, Tadvamana rupam avardhadbhutam harerantasya gunatrayatmakam bhukam dishodvayor viparapayodhayas triyandevo rishayat. The Lord started growing, and he was growing. He was showing Vishwarupa. In his Vishwarupa form, everything was included. Then Brahma started worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, and then how this Ganga appeared. So we know all this thing. Then when Lord measured the whole world in 2 steps, he doesn't have third step. So what he done then? He became Vamana. He became to his normal size. Then now he sat on the Bali Maharaj Vyasasana. He sat on that. Now with a very grave voice, he started chastising Bali Maharaj. He says, now I have conquered you. Now you have become my slave. This is true, correct? We always say, Jai, Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. Jai means what? Victorious. Lord is victorious. That means we are all defeated. Lord should be victorious. This competition is always happening between soul and the Lord. We always try to run away from the Lord, and Lord is running behind us to catch us. This happens when we are small boys. We have this play that we used to run and we used to catch someone, and we say, when we catch someone, you are defeated. I catched you, I won, you got defeated. In the similar way, this game is happening for many lifetimes. We are running away from the Lord. Lord is chasing after us in the form of Paramatma. And at one point of time, Lord catches us. How he catches us? He keeps so many checkposts. Like thieves are catched by checkposts. So Lord has checkposts also. That is Sadhu Sangha. He keeps sadhus everywhere in our life. So wherever we go, these checkposts are all the time. The sadhus we meet. And then in one checkpost, if you get caught, then Lord captures you. In the similar way, this is how in Rudra Gita, Shiva starts glorifying the Lord. Let you become the victorious. He says, Jitam ta atma vidvarya swasta atma swastirastu me bhavata aradhasya radram sarvasma atmaya namaha. He says, let you be victorious, Lord. When we say Jai, that means we accept. We are defeated and Lord has won. And it is good. Then after only when we get defeated, we understand what is meant by actual happiness. We are thinking by means of running away from the Lord, we can become happy. But once if you are conquered, then we understand, yes, this is good. When I am conquered by you, when I become your servant, then only I know what is real happiness. In the similar way, here Lord is saying that I have conquered you. Then Lord, he chastises. It's actually very jovial. Lord is having hasya rasa here. He's saying, hey Bali Maharaj, you could not fulfill your promise. Now you should go and live in the hell. He says, Niraye vasa ishate. You are fit to live in the hell. He says, Niraye. Niraye can be interchanged as Nilaya also. Niraya means hell and Nilaya means Vaikunta. So Lord is indirectly saying, now I have conquered you. So what you should do now? Go and live in Vaikunta. So Lord is telling, and he is saying that I have conquered you, are a cheater. You could not fulfill your desire. Then Bali Maharaj starts to speak. Even though he was humbled in front of everyone, even though he gave everything, but still what Lord has done, he has tied him with the Varuna Pasha, like a slave. And even though he was humbled in such a way, he was not disturbed. He was very happy. And then he was joking back. He was saying that, Lord, you are calling me as a cheater. But please consider who is a cheater. You came like a Vamana and you become Trivikrama. You came like a Brahmachari, but actually you wanted only 3 steps, but you took 3 worlds. And you came like a Brahmana, now you are becoming angry and you are punishing me. And in the similar way, and you are a Lakshmipati, but you come and beg from me. So who is a cheater here? Actually, you are Uttama Shloka. So actually you are cheating not me, you are cheating demigods. Because for demigods you are going to give these things. but see what you are going to give me. You are going to give me yourself. So actually, you are not a cheater. So he is actually indirectly. It's like a glorification, but it's not a glorification. Again, it ends up like a glorification. There are very intricate statements when you understand how acharyas explain. It's so sweet to understand. This is how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur he explains. Because of lack of time, I'm just rushing. Otherwise, this Lila can be spoken for 3 hours and it is so sweet to relish. He says, please make my words true. I don't afraid of living in hell. I'm not afraid of Varuna Pasha, but I'm afraid of only one thing. That is, devotees displeasing. Devotees should not get displeased with me. My words should not be displeased. My words should not be untrue. Because I'm coming from Prahalad Maharaj's family. So Prahalad Maharaj should not displease with me. He says, Asadu vadat brisham udvichayataha. Asada vadat. I don't want to get bad name from devotees. I don't want to be called as a cheater from a devotee. So please consider this. So why Bali Maharaj was punished in this way? Because he was proud. He was thinking, I am powerful, I am the owner of everything, I am giving charity, I am doing this yajna. So now Lord has made Bali Maharaj in such a way. Now Bali Maharaj is begging him, please make my word truthful. Before he was thinking, I am very truthful, I am very charitable, I am worshipping, I am respecting all the Brahmanas. Now it is Lord's choice. Whether by accepting his offerings, he can make him truthful or he can make him untruthful also. So Lord made him to understand that it is not your wish that you are truthful, you are Vadanya, you are Brahmanya, you are Satyasandha. It is my power only. So in the similar way, when we are doing devotional service, we should never consider, I am doing this devotional service. We should always see, because of Lord's mercy, I am able to do this. This akartrutva buddhi has to be applied in devotional service also. Lord says this akarta, this concept of akarta in Nishkama Karma Yoga, that we should never consider as ourselves as karta. Even in devotional service, we should never think, I am doing this devotional service. Because of my devotional service, I am being like this. We should never think. It is all because of Lord's mercy, I am able to do this. Lord is sitting inside and He is inspiring me to do all this thing. So, in the similar way here, Lord is showing that by means of understanding that we are subservient, we are dependent on the Lord, then Lord is very pleased. When then He keeps His lotus feet on the Bali Maharaj's head. As soon as Bali Maharaj was crowned with Lord's lotus feet, then Prahalad appears. Then Prahalad appears, he started glorifying the Lord. He says that you made him Indra, now you have taken away his wealth also. So it is your mercy that you give sometimes and you take away sometimes. So it is nothing new for you. When Lord gives sometimes, that we should understand, it is Lord's spiritual wealth. Sometimes we see the Lord takes away the wealth. Why He takes away the wealth? Because Lord doesn't want His devotees to enjoy the karmic wealth. Whatever wealth that He has, whatever opulence that He has now, it is from His previous life's karma phala. So Lord doesn't want His devotees to enjoy His karma phala. The devotees should enjoy only His wealth, not karmic wealth. So He takes away all the karmic wealth from the devotee and He gives spiritual wealth. This is how we see in devotee's life, even in Prabhupada's life. First time what he did, he takes away everything from the devotee and then he starts giving. So when Lord takes away, we should understand He is taking away our karma phala. And when Lord starts giving, that means He is giving by means of His spiritual wealth. So that's why when devotees, they enjoy spiritual wealth, they don't get entangled. Like he says to Dhruva Maharaj, you can enjoy Dhruva Loka, you will not get entangled. Similarly, for Bali Maharaj also, he says, I am giving you this wealth. So Prahalad Maharaj says, this is how you do, always you deal with devotees. And Vindhyavali, Bali Maharaj's wife, she makes very interesting statement. She comes and she says, oh Lord, you created this world, you are maintaining, you are destroying, you are the owner of everything. But in the meantime, these foolish people, they come and they claim, this is my property and I am offering you something. Like my husband, he is thinking that he is offering you some wealth. And this body also belongs to you. So now he is thinking, by means of giving his body, by means of offering his body, he is telling to keep his vrata, to keep his truthfulness. But he doesn't understand, everything is already belong to you. So in the similar way, that these foolish people, they think that they are offering something. So Vindyavali speaks like that. And Brahma says that he should not be punished like that. He doesn't deserve this kind of punishment. Because if somebody offers even patram pushpam phalam toyam, you are ready to give everything, but he has offered everything, but you are tying him up. This doesn't look good. So please release him. Then Lord speaks, yes, I understand. I give wealth, but I take away wealth from devotees also. Why? Because sometimes they become proud. That by means of their wealth, they cannot see the real truth. They cannot even see me because of their so much pride. They forget everything. They become so ignorant. So just to correct him, I am taking up this Bali. I'm giving this punishment to Bali Maharaj. Actually, Bali Maharaj doesn't need this punishment. Even Lord, when Lord comes in his own form and he asks for this charity, definitely Bali Maharaj will give. But Lord wanted to have this hasya rasa, this jovial pastime. So Lord made this jovial pastime. So in this way, Bali Maharaja was again understood the Lord's mood. And then Bali Maharaj, even though he was taken away from everything, he was not disturbed by all this problem. Then Lord says, even among all this, even in the midst of all this problem, Bali Maharaj was not disturbed. Lord glorifies Bali Maharaj. He says, even though I presented dharma in adharmic way and adharma in dharmic way, just to test his truthfulness, still he was not away from his truthfulness. Then he says, yes, since you have given me this two land, that is Burloka and Swargaloka, you cannot stay in this place. Now you go to Patal Loka. You go and stay in that Patal Loka. So his Lord sends him to the Patal Loka. And then Lord says, go in the Patal Loka, I will come and stay with you as a gatekeeper. So now, one may ask, now already Bali Maharaja is penniless. He doesn't have any money. So why does he need watchman? Lord says, I will come and stay as a watchman for you. I will guard you. So why do you need? Lord says, I will come. Why? Because till this time, he was thinking himself as Swami. So Lord did not protect him. Now he has become Lord's property. So now it's Lord's duty, responsible to protect the devotee. So until we think ourselves as Swamis, as an owner, Lord doesn't interfere in our life. As soon as we surrender ourselves to the Lord completely, then Lord takes care of our life. He takes full responsibility of our life. So this is called Atma Nivedanam. So like in the marriage, what happens? There's a Kanyadana. So during Kanyadana, the person, the father, he gives so much Varadakshana, he gives so much fruits and flowers. So these fruits and flowers are taken by this Vadyar Swami, the one who is doing this yajna, he takes away, the pujari he takes away. And this dowry, this is taken by the parents. So who will take the girl? Boy has to take the girl. Similarly, now Lord got all the charity. So he has given this charity. What charity? He has given this Burloka, Bholoka to Indra. But he kept the main charity. What is that? Bali Maharaj. He kept himself. Because this is the duty of a boy. He gets everything, he gives to his parents, but he keeps wives with him. Similarly, now he has taken Bali Maharaj, even though he is very conscious, Lord is very conscious. He got everything for Indra only actually, but he did not give everything to Indra. He gave only the land to Indra and he has kept Bali Maharaj for himself. So in this way, that Bali Maharaj was become the Lord's property. Then Bali Maharaj at the end, he could not, Lord, even though Lord said that you go to Sutal Loka and stay there, Bali Maharaj could not move. Why? Because Lord's lotus feet was on his head. How can he go? Then he says, very, very beautiful play. With this we'll end here. Aho pranamaya kirtas samudramana prapanna bhakta atma vidus samahitaha yellokapalastvanugraho marir alabda purvo apashade surarpitaha. He says, Aho prapanyamaya. Who has gained this fortune? Who has gained this fortune? I have not done any devotion to you. At least Brahma, Indra, demigods, Lakshmi, they all do some kind of devotion service to get your lotus feet. But what kind of devotion I have done? I have done only one thing. What is that? When Vamana Deva was coming, Sukracharya was informing him, this is Vishnu coming. As soon as he heard the name Vishnu, Bali Maharaj wanted to do obeisances. He wanted to pay respect to Lord. But he could not do that because he was a king and he was Asura king also. So when he does obeisances, then everybody will see and they will think why he is paying obeisances. So he didn't do that. But he has this inclination. He was having this desire to pay obeisances. Now Bali Maharaj is saying, even though I did not do any devotional service directly, but because I had this little inclination to pay obeisances, now I got this fruit. So that's what the power of devotional service. Even if you have this little inclination towards the Lord, it eats your result. So he says, I didn't do any devotional service. I had this little inclination to do obeisances to you and I got this result. Then when Bali Maharaj was blessed like this, then Prahalad Maharaj, he says, Nemem viruncho labate prasadam nashriye nasharanam kim upatya anyaye. Then he starts glorifying that even though we are demons, we got this great fortune. And who can understand Lord's mercy? Even though Lord, we say, He is very equal to everyone, but still Lord always show mercy to us. He is like a desire tree. He is like a Kalpaka Vriksha. So under Kalpaka Vriksha, whatever you desire, you get it. Similarly, even though we are asuras, you show your compassion towards us because we desire that. Indra was thinking about Indraloka and Bali Maharaj was not thinking about Indraloka. So whatever you desire, Lord fulfills that. Indra was asking about Swargaloka, so he gave Swargaloka. Now Bali Maharaj, he was thinking about Lord, so Lord gave himself to him. So in the similar way, Prahlad Maharaj says, who can understand your partiality, who can understand your mercy? Then he gives that Lord sends both Bali Maharaja and Prahlad Maharaj to Sutaloka, and then Lord says to Sukracharya, Hey Sukracharya, this yajna was uncompleted. So please fulfill this yajna. Please complete this yajna. Then Sukracharya says very beautiful statement. He says, Mantrachas tantrachas tidram deshakalarha vastunaha sarvam karoti nischidram anunama sankirtanam tava. He says, where is the question of discrepancies in the yajna? Yajna is already completed. Why? Because yajna means to please you. You are already appeared here and he has given everything to you and you are very pleased. So where is the question of discrepancy? He says, even any discrepancies in yajna, everything can be completed just by nama sankirtanam tava. Just by means of your holy name, everything is complete in this world. Because whatever we do, it is all the time with some problems. But if it is accompanied with nama sankirtana, then everything becomes complete. But still, I will do this yajna. So in this Bali Maharaj Lila, we can understand who has cheated whom. Lord comes in the form of asking something, but what he has done? He has given everything. He has given everything to his devotees. So this is how Lord does. He comes like he wants something, but ultimately he blesses us with so much. Like Lord goes to Sugriva in the form of asking help. But what he has done? He has given everything to Sugriva. So in the similar way, Lord is always waiting to give us everything, to give himself to us. But the only thing is, we should accept it. So how Bali Maharaj got this opportunity? How he was fortunate to get all this thing? By only one qualification. From the beginning we are seeing this qualification. What is that qualification? He had the good association of Prahlad Maharaj. He was all the time reminding about the Lord. Reminding about this to Lord. Because I am Prahlad Maharaj grandson, you should bless me. Because I am Prahlad Maharaj grandson, you should show mercy to me. So when we are in devotees association, that is the only qualification that we can get out of this world.